Alright guys, back again with another video for you today. And yes, we are going to be working on the C6 Corvette again. This time we're going to be swapping out the radiator. Now this right here is a fine specimen. This is a $165 eBay China radiator.
China!
Now, as many of you know, I'm a huge supporter of authentic, good quality parts. But there was a ton of people on the forums, on the Facebook pages, recommending this radiator, the GPI radiator. So, I'm gonna give it a chance. It cost me $165. Got here in like 3 days. It's all aluminum, the end tanks are aluminum, it's 3-core radiator. Should be good enough for the Vegas summer. So let's get into it. Let's crack this baby open, see what it's looking like. Alright, here she is. First impressions, it's metal, but it doesn't actually look too bad. Let me look at it further. So the finish isn't the greatest, not a high quality polish. There's some imperfections like this right here. It's not a crack, it's just like, honestly, I don't even know what that is. But that's alright. The welds look, okay. As long as they don't leak, don't really care. All the fins are straight. There's nothing messed up. So my Corvette is manual and I didn't want to go with the internal oil cooler. So it doesn't have the fittings for the transmission line or the oil lines. So it's just a raw, full radiator only for coolant. But first impressions, it really, I mean, looks like 165 bucks. But if it works, if it keeps the car cooler, who cares? No more talking. Let's start pulling the radiator out of the vet. Get this puppy in. I just got the black shroud that covers the AC condenser and the radiator off, and oh my God. I wish you guys could see how caked up this AC condenser is. So, I'm gonna hit that with the power washer. So it's time to drain the radiator. I'm gonna jack this side up, throw a bucket underneath, crack the little peacock, petcock thing, I don't even know what it is. But I should let the radiator drain. I'm gonna let it do its thing. I know my hair probably looks insane right now. I've been wearing a hat all day, but it's really hot in this garage and humid, so I pulled the hat off. But we got all the coolant drained out of the radiator. I'm gonna go disconnect the upper radiator hose and the lower radiator hose, disconnect the fan plug, and then it should be ready to pull right out. We should be able to drop the new one right in. I'm going to reuse these little grommets that the radiator sits in on the radiator support. I'll reuse these, and then I got to pull the fan off, which looks like it's just going to be two 10mm bolts, and then it should slide up, pop out, and then we can throw it on the new radiator. So I got the radiator fan on. It's all mounted, tightly secure. So what I ended up doing is I actually bent these metal tabs all the way flat to like a 90-degree angle. All 4 of them. I just put the radiator fan on top of the radiator, and I lined up the bolt holes for that one and that one, tightened it down, and then I just bent the little tabs back over the mounting spot on the radiator. This thing is ready to go, so let me throw it in the car. radiator. I've been driving for about 10 minutes. It's about 95 degrees outside. Right now it would probably be, I don't know, maybe 205, but it's staying under 200, which is awesome. So I think this is a big W for the $165 China eBay radiator. So I finally got the radiator in. Everything is reconnected. Got the AC condenser mounted up. The top, bottom radiator hose are all good. I did end up breaking this little T-barb right here. Comes with it, it's plastic. I was literally just moving it and it cracked. So I ended up ordering a replacement one from Amazon. I'll put a picture of exactly what I bought right here. That worked out fine, tightened it. And then I just reused the OEM clamp right here. Everything's reconnected, it's all good. So bleeding this car was actually really, really simple. I just removed the reservoir tank cap and I disconnected the line right here. And I took this hose right here and I just blew air into it until no air was coming out of this line. It was just coolant. Reconnected it, put the cap back on, started the car, ran it for a little bit, let it cool down, pulled the cap back off, added some coolant. Had to do that about 2 or 3 times, but now it's full of coolant. There's no weird overheating issues or anything like that. The coolant level's full, and I just got back from a drive, like I said, and this thing did not move. Driving, it's about 194 to 198. When I sit at a stoplight, it'll creep up to about 201, 203, and I have yet to see it go higher. So I'm sure there's no air in the system, so it should be fully bled, no issues there. I don't have the shroud on yet. That shroud right there, it was an absolute nightmare to pull out. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up trimming that thing just so it's a little bit easier to pull out next time, and it'll be easier to put it back in. Radiator swap complete. I'm happy as hell with this thing, man. The stock radiator worked. It never overheated or anything like that, but this thing has 3 cores. It's all aluminum, so I don't have to worry about it cracking on the end tanks. And it was a fairly easy install. I didn't film all of it. I kind of just got frustrated. It was hot in the garage. So I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm just gonna swap it back in. There's 1,000 how-to videos on YouTube. So I ended up not filming it, but I got everything in now. It's all good. I'm happy.